everyone, welcome back. This is a motorcycle rescuer, or not sometimes, and I'm the motorcycle rescuer, or Charlie. Interesting video yesterday, right? I wasn't meant to film the kind of actual rebuild, and then, I don't know why, but I found myself kind of just doing it. I thought, when I looked online, guys, I didn't see many videos for the SH rebuild, and when I took it apart, it seemed really complex, and it's because of all the coolant hoses and everything around the engine that makes it seem quite complex. But the reality is, it wasn't particularly complex. Once you got the piston rings in the cylinder, it was generally okay. So, mind you saying that, this is currently a non-runner. Now, I'll tell you what happened, because as much as I enjoyed messing with you guys, I actually, of course, wanted to hear the bike run. So the last you saw was the fan was on, which was right because I'd had the sensor disconnected, and the light was on. You can see the light quite clearly, and then you see me go to press the button. Once I stopped the camera, guys, I did press the button, and something here went, and all the electrics blew. Obviously, electrics blow. It's this fuse that controls every electric in the bike, except that's a new fuse and the old one hadn't blown. So I did some investigating, and this is what I found. So the connector wire looks pretty bad, yeah? You can see it's quite bad. You can see here it's melted through, and then you can see this wire here is just pretty shocking. So I think it probably bridged across somehow and touched the other wire and blew. But not only is this a terrible connector, which I don't know if I have a spare to, guys, I think it completely blew this solenoid. I think it completely blew it out of the water. There's no real way of testing these. They cost a few pounds, guys. It's worth ordering one and waiting for it to turn up. But there'd be no point plugging this back in to the new one, because you'll blow it again. So yeah, so I think that's well and truly blown, and the reason I think that's fully blown is because the fuse didn't do its job and it didn't protect the circuit. It stayed okay, and the whole thing went So my god, I'd spent a pretty intensive day rebuilding an engine that made me nervous, and then I didn't get to press the button. Well, I did get to press the button, but I didn't get to hear it fire up. I didn't get to see if my fix was a fix or not. It almost definitely wasn't. I just feel like it's not right. It feels kind of a bit stiff again. But we don't know. Like always, you don't know. These engines don't have kicks. Not that would matter. I had to double check there. Even with the casing on, these engines don't have kicks. But yeah. So I believe this whole solenoid is blown out, and you know, I'm going to take it apart and just have a little look, just out of curiosity. I bet we find something fairly obvious in there. So we need a new one of them, and then I need to find a plug. I'm really hoping on an old wiring loom I have one, and then I'll just cut these wires higher up. Yeah, cut them higher up here, strip them, and do the same to the new one. I'm hoping I may have one of them. I may not. Yeah, and then we'll get to hear this bike next week, which is really sad. And then you've got to put all the new drivetrain on, which is all Polini. It's all decent. It's a decent running bike, this. Anyway, so that's where we are on this. So that is extremely frustrating. It was more frustrating because I messed with you guys, and then I thought, oh, I'll hear this bike without you. And then it literally smoked. Right, we're in, it's 10:15. Wow. It's way too early to fire that thing up, but I just want to hear it kick, do something, because it sounded terrible yesterday. It sounded like it wouldn't at all. And last but not least, I've got someone coming that I'm helping out. Now, I know that some of you guys might think, hang on a minute, he's giving mixed signals, Sultan's not allowed here. Excuse me. The person who's coming is Warren. He is a key worker. He's still working with children and vulnerable at the moment. So I am going to help him out. I've put a chair quite far over there for him to sit on. And he owned the Piaggio Fly that Dawn is now using, and then he dropped it on its side. Didn't cause stupid amounts of damage, but he kind of lost his he kind of lost faith in the bike, even though it wasn't the bike's fault. And I get that. People do get that. They drop a bike and they think, oh, I'm just not, you know, I just don't want it anymore. So I bought the Fly off him and gave it to Dawn, or sold it to Dawn. And he bought a Sinis or Lex Moto that is giving him a couple of problems now, and he needs to be on the road properly. So so that's today. So he is going to be here. He's going to be particularly far away over there, and I'm going to try and remember what I'm doing for him. I think the rear back box for him to carry things, and something to do with his side stand switch possibly, which is a good one because one of you guys had trouble with his side stand switch recently. Okay guys, so I've taken this the top bit off. Now I believe there is a piece missing. There's another one of these, should be there. It may have fell off when I undone the bike, but it could have also kind of blown and snapped off. It would literally be here, and also I would have seen it, wouldn't I, if it fell off? When I just literally 2 minutes ago took the solenoid off. There's no obvious sign of that. I think it probably blew. I mean, that would make sense why there's absolutely no connection at all within there, and this kind of melting and stuff wouldn't have helped. So yeah, so that's where we are. I checked the DNA, it doesn't have the same one. I don't think the Vespa has the same one, because it has this fuse system up here, which is a different one. So none of the bikes I've got at the moment. What do you use? No, you use a full fuse box back there. Yeah, so none of the bikes I've got at the moment. This is a version of it, guys, but it's not the right one. Anyway, I have a couple of old wiring looms from Piaggio's back there, so you never know, but normally I've used it all already, so I am going to have a little sweep in there and check. Otherwise I'm going to order that new solenoid. I'm sure that's the problem part, and then hopefully next week we'll get to see if this thing fires up or not. It just didn't have a chance yesterday. It just kind of burnt immediately, and I think, you know, I know why it burnt, guys. When the old piston had all that pressure on it, and we were pressing the button and we were talking about that stupidly high compression, which is what it appears to have, it puts so much pressure on everything because you're holding the button down. It's not flowing, it's just kind of putting pressure on certain points, especially that solenoid switch. The fuse should have blown, it should have saved it, but it didn't. Possibly a dodgy fuse. So I think that's probably the issue. I hope the CDI and everything else is all good and there's no obvious signs of burning or anything in there, because I expect this bike to maybe be a nice runner and rider soon. Alright guys, so I've learnt something about this bike. When it blew yesterday, not only did it blow the crap out of the solenoid, but look at my leads. Which one is it? It's one of them was blown to smithereens. There it is. Look at that, guys. Wow. So I'm not going to mess with leads and second solenoids. I'm going to order one, put it back together next week, and then we'll have that. And then we'll have that back in maybe, I don't know, back in working. So guys, back to the SH. I've cleaned all this up as best as I could. I'm not easily going to get another one of these. If I had one in the garage, I would definitely snip and wire it in. But at this stage, I'd have to order a brand new, well, second-hand wiring loom. It's all a bit over the top, isn't it, for my needs. So I am going to order a new solenoid. I genuinely think that's it. I genuinely think that's all it needs. It needs the new solenoid. and then it will go back to normal. These had burnt out. I've kind of done my best to make them safe and usable. I think it will be. Yeah, and that's it. Where are we? I think I've saved my my jump leads because I like them. Let me throw the 2 indicators on here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw the 2 indicators that I need on here now, and then I'm going to put the side skirts back on the bike, and then we're kind of getting closer to having a kind of a bike, aren't we? A running bike. I was going to put a coat of black on here, but see the red kind of chips, I quite like it. It kind of ties it all in. The other thing I'm going to do, if I can find the pinstripe again, is I think I'm going to pinstripe down here, look. So I'll clean it with carb cleaner, pinstripe down and around there, and that's what will tie the red and the black in, or I could pinstripe on this front panel maybe somehow. I'm not sure yet. I'm going to do something just to kind of beef it up a little bit. Right, I've chucked the battery in this, guys. It would not start for me yesterday. I'm going to do 2 things. I'm going to fully top up the tank because I drained most of it out, and I trimmed down the wires. So I'm going to fully top it up, and I really hope it starts. I think I just flooded it, guys. I think I just held the button too long. If it starts, guys, and gives us something, I'm not running it long. It's Sunday, it's midday. Them exhausts are way too loud. But let me top it up, and on camera we'll see if it fires. It did not fire yesterday at all. Alright, guys, topped up with fuel, batteries topped up fully charged. It should just fire up. Let's, fingers crossed. Well, I'm going to scrap that attempt because I forgot I've left the air filter out, guys. I'm going to chuck that back on. So we'll take 2 air filters back on. If this doesn't work, I mean, it didn't sound like it was kicking at all there. If this doesn't work, maybe pop the spark plugs, clean them. Something's changed, guys. Something's changed, you can hear it. It's just not happy. I don't know what it is. I'd love to be able to say I do. It's worth just checking both sparks now and seeing. I bet the spark plugs need cleaning. It's quite hard. Is it quite hard to get to them? Let me see if I can put the tank up enough, or turn it or something, keeping the leads attached. Okay, guys. Both spark plugs show good, strong spark fueling problem. I've got to get these carbs off. There's nothing more to it. I have to admit, guys, I really can't be arsed. I really can't be arsed taking these carbs off. I know it's a pain in the arse, the airbox and everything. But it's the right thing to do by this bike. What we need to see is, are they clean fully? And are they jetted appropriately? That's what we need to see. I've got a couple of hours left, so I might as well start. Loosen up the airbox, get it all pushed back. I'll pop off the side panel again. Get all these sprayed up and loosen them up, loosen everything up. You want to kind of pop them off to a kind of decent bit without going too nuts. If I can get this airbox back enough just to pop it all out and work on them, and maybe pull them up here and work on them, then that's fine for me. That does me perfectly well. And then we'll know exactly what we're working with on the inside, and we can check the jetting and leave it to that at that stage, I guess. So let's see. I'm going to work away at this. I didn't put the indicators on here yet, but I kind of just want to do all the last touches when it's ready, this bike, you know, when the seat cover's here. So I'm going to work away at this, guys. So where are we? Right, Nats ZL, guys. We're waiting on the 2 new ignition coils. They're taking way too long. Again, they're Royal Mail. New starter solenoid for this, and then it may be a normal running bike. Seat cover, speedo cable, speedo worm gear, Royal Mail letting me down. But it's COVID, guys. And then this did run and ride, but we haven't gone over the carbs. It makes sense to see how clean they are, see what they're jetting, and ideally get a more appropriate exhaust, and it will be a stunning bike, guys, a stunning bike. So I'm going to work away at this for a minute. I'll kind of catch you guys up with what we're doing. With what I'm doing. So guys, I take back what I said about it being a pain. It's actually very easy. The airbox, if you take off the bracket here for the tank, the airbox pulls back and up. It slides off easy. It's down there, very easy. That's really good, guys. These are kind of old, dirty carbs. They do need a bit of looking at, so it's well worth doing. So look where we are, guys. We're at my dreaded bottom bolts. Sometimes they come out, sometimes they don't. My top tip is grips, and if for any reason you can't get the grips in, my next top tip is to Dremel a straight slot and use a flat head to get them out. But I think I'll be fine. I'm not messing with all the coolant or anything, guys. Look, I'm doing it like this on the bike. I'll do this one first, see what it's like, see what its jetting is. Everything on here needs kind of greasing up and stuff and just loosening. So that's where we are at this stage. So here we go, guys. I needed the grips on one screw only. It's not shocking in here. The bowl is a little bit dirty, but not bad. Not shocking at all. The jets look okay. This is a 102. That's weird. That is it's quite a weird jet to have. My automatic assumption is that it's upjetted. 102, that says 102, or is that 107? 102. But it looks clean. It looks okay. So I will pop it out anyway, and I'll pop the air fuel mixture screw out here as well, sorry, and the idle screw out. We'll just clean it out anyway while we're here, pop it straight back on. There's not really anything to worry about at that stage. The fuel pump I'd like to check at some point. That's quite simple. Put fuel down the lines and turn it over and see if it pumps out. That's fine. I'm going to do that in a bit. But let's get this cleaned up. 102, I'm also going to get online and see what the actual jetting is for this bike. It's probably 95 or something, but I'm not sure. So everyone, I did a carb clean there, but it wasn't needed. 102 is the original jetting. That's good for now. I like to start at the original. This left boot was loose earlier. That was quite loose, so that could be something. And then I think the right carb was dry when I opened it. The left carb poured out fuel, right carb didn't, I believe, but then that could have poured out fuel while I was tipping it and messing with it. So I don't think I've done anything really. Next test is absolutely, I've left the fuel hose off because I want to see if fuel is pumping. So we have to put petrol into both of these pipes here, basically cap them off, cap one off, and turn it over and see if it actually pumps out, and if it pumps out at a decent rate. That's kind of the next step. We'll see that quite clearly down there. You see the hose here, you'd see fuel pouring out. I'm going to put the actual tank back on for ease on this occasion. So the tank's going to go back on, and then I'm going to turn it over and see if it pours out. If it does, that's when we'll look at what's next. Because at this stage, I don't really know actually. I'm not sure kind of where to go. I don't know why it stopped running to start with. It's got spark. I genuinely think it's a fuel problem. These fuel pumps are known for failing, and you can get pump rebuild kits, but they're quite complex in there actually, guys. These little pumps. So let's start with the basics. Let's see if it is pumping out fuel, and then if it is, we'll connect it all up. What I don't know is if it's pumping at an appropriate rate. Okay guys, so the first test on this tap is, you see here, this is where we should get fuel. We should turn this to prime and fuel should come out at a nice pace. Let's see if that happens. Yeah, there you go. Okay, cool. So we're back to reserve because we don't want fuel going everywhere. Now the problem is that we'll have to travel slightly uphill. So ideally we need the suction to work. So I'm going to pop off this suction pipe here, and I'm going to put on another smaller one that I'm going to suck on, and we'll see if fuel comes out. So give me a moment, we'll be back. So guys, when I suck on this pipe like a pro, it should bust its load pretty quickly. We've got good flow there. So the absolute last test is this suction enough? So let's get the battery in. Right, mate. So guys, this should be on the actual button now. It should be pouring out. So let me. You're gonna see this better than I am. Let me. Right, can I see? Can we all see? Right, it's doing its basic job. Right, so let's get the fuel hose back on. Let's prime it a little bit, because we saw it flow when we primed it, didn't we? Well, we know it sucks as well. We primed it a bit. Let's get it all up and in there. And then in a minute we will go back to, let's prime it a little bit more. Let's get them bowls full. And then we'll go back to reserve because we knew that was working. We'll chuck the air filter back in and we'll go for take 3 and see if we can get this thing started, guys. So guys, currently it has spark, we've checked. However, I haven't checked the spark plugs. because I could not find one that fits. I've got like 50 in there, guys, and I couldn't find one that fits. It was meant to be like a like an 18 fin wall, which I had, but anyway, none of them fit. We've got spark, we've got fuel, maybe. We've got a clean carb. We should have compression, nothing's changed there. Let's see if we get lucky at all. Okay guys, that's it for today. Some notes to myself: I need to order an 18 fin wall spark plug socket, a strong air duster or a couple of air dusters. What else? Starter solenoid for that. That's all been ordered. That's coils. And note to self: next week, nip up spark plug before trying to fire that up. Nip up spark plug, that makes sense because it's hand tight. And then look at this sorry looking fellow. I genuinely think that the plugs are caked, guys, and they just, so even though we're getting spark on the outside, I think they need a good clean or a change. I might even order a couple of new ones. It would make sense at this stage because we're trying to change them out anyway. I may spray down some WD. Do I want to do that? You really can't risk them breaking in there now, guys. That would be such a pain. In fact, that would be game over, really. But I also don't want to clump up all the crap. No, I'm not going to spray WD down there because I want it to be all dry so that I can air dust it out. Yeah, let me know what you think. I'm trying to think what I've been here all day, and what have I achieved? I think I've achieved something on that. I think I've worked out the fault. I think that will be okay. It's such a shame we can't try it though. Parts only. I like the look of it. It's fine. Just parts. Nip it up. Get it all up and running. I wonder if this thing will start. I bet it does. It's a bit of a hero, this bike. Let's have a look. Are we flat on the battery? Right, hang on. Oh, is it the rear brake? Might need to take the battery in and charge it. 1 minute, guys. Let me see if I can get this started with two hands. I mean, come on, guys. This thing just sits for weeks and then just works. Oh, look, I forgot I put the bulb in there. Did I check it? Yeah. Honestly, I'd like one of you guys to have this bike. You could probably have it for 500, guys. A watcher. If I guess if you're going to use it. Now I know it has the 125 engine. It's a bit of a risk. I kind of stand by the fact that the 2-stroke 50 and the 125 4-stroke, they really haven't got much difference. I'm not talking 16-year-olds, guys. If you're a mature adult and you want to take on this bike, go for it. Let me know. You know, I'd rather someone use it and get some nice use out of it. At least it's going to be you know, okay. At least I've gone over it and looked over it. I don't think I've saved this bike really. If anything, it was okay as it came to me. It just needed the bits and pieces. I could have very easily taken this bike and just moved it straight on, but that's not me. I can't do that. If it's a bit wobbly and there's something not right, and there's, you know, there's indicators like that and the seat looks like that, I just can't do that, guys. So yeah, but I think it'll look cool. It's gonna have its black seat. It's gonna have that black and red contrast, you know. It'll be alright, and it just runs and rides. It just plods along. It really doesn't pull your arms off. This thing does. This thing pulls strong. It doesn't pull your arms off. It just plods along, and this mileage is genuine to this engine. So it's 15,000. This is all from this engine. That's why it was so hard to transfer it back. Oh, come on. Nice little bike. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next week.